spring is around the corner. Almost. And I've accomplished nothing. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've gathered some data on how my work is going. You know how in my New Year resolution video I talked about my goals for work, the number of hours and the number of contact things? Well, it's time to report back for my first quarter. If you don't know it already, my 3 pillars, aka the 3 categories I had goals for, are calling people I already know, prospecting calls, and open houses. Now, the only category I was somewhat decent in was calling people I already know. There were times when I didn't call the people I should be, but in the end, you know, everything is good. I caught up and I finished my second round by the end of March. Really, a pat on my back. For the second part, my prospecting goals were 25 contacts per day times 4 times per week, which is 100 contacts per week. And so my goals for first quarter was 100 contacts times 11 weeks, which was 1100 contacts. Time-wise, I wanted to do it 2 hours per day times 4 times a week, and that's 8 hours times 11 weeks, which is 88 hours. So my goals were 88 hours for 1100 contacts. I wish. In January, I called for about 20 hours, and that gave me 235 contacts. And my February and March data were so bad, I felt so ashamed to share it with you guys. In February, I had 5.5 hours of calls and 69 contacts. And March was 3 hours of calls with 50 contacts. Oh my god, those are so bad. Needless to say, I was not in a very good mental state at the time. So for my first quarter, in total I called 28.5 hours and I had 354 contacts. Out of all of those contacts, I went on 1 listing presentation, which I found out the owner was not ready to sell at all. And I had 8 better than nothing contacts, which I saved, and I'll use it for future follow-ups. Let's move on to the open houses. My goals for open houses were 2 per month, but when I made that video, January was almost over, so let's just say February and March I needed 4. And in reality, I did 3 open houses for the first quarter, which, you know, it's not that bad, right? Like, I know it's 75%, but not too far off from the goals, right? Anyhow, for the first open house, I had 4 group of people come in. For the second open house, no one showed up. And for the last one, I had 9 groups of people. Out of all of them, I had 1 lead, which I didn't end up working with them. So that's my first quarter report. To be honest, I really should work on finding clients harder. Prospecting wise, my data tells me I'm finding 1 lead-ish out of 350 contacts on calling. And for open houses, I had 1 lead per 13 contacts, which is, you know, pretty lucky based on my experience. I watched a video the other day which really reminded me that I should work on 1 skill and get good at it at a time. So my little goal for the month of April is that I need to work on my prospecting calls so that I can establish a baseline number for myself. I also need to be more truthful and critical to myself, as in, I realized I actually do many other things when I call, and those little time adds up, so my hours are actually quite inflated. I also realized a lot of my better than nothing numbers are forced, which means I basically forced them to agree on me giving them follow-up. So not surprisingly, when I do call up, they are not answering my calls. So I also need to be more critical on that as well. That's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll definitely report back if I stick through my plan. I'll see you next time.